Okay, I think I'm assuming we're recording because everybody dipped out of this call.
I
So
love how they do that.
I know they're just gone. Or we're up, we're running, we're plugged in. What's in the mug? Is that a
Mm,
Christmas mug?
it is. So I am kind of a Christmas gal all year long.
My
It's my
girl.
my dog, Howie, who's currently breathing very heavily next to me because I got a thing of yogurt. I've got two drinks and a yogurt. What do you have?
I have an iced coffee. So
Ooh.
I jumped on the pumpkin spice bandwagon already because it just came out yesterday. You're not into it.
Is it a pumpkin spice creamer? Is it a flavored coffee? What are we working with?
So
I don't know
it's
that whole
this
thing.
Starbucks. So I just do a venti iced coffee, two pumps of pumpkin sauce. I don't like
Well,
that it's called sauce.
yeah.
Two Splenda and a little oat milk, but I do buy the pumpkin creamer. I like making it better at home. I think that they might have changed the recipe this year. I'm feeling a little underwhelmed with what
Is it
Starbucks is
it's
dropping
too
out here.
much? Is it not enough? What are
Not
we doing?
enough. It's not
Oh,
enough. I know it's not enough. Are you a coffee drinker, tea drinker?
like 5 times a day. The fact I don't have a Crest White Strips endorsement pisses me off because like it's a battle with my teeth. And even just now, I hadn't eaten yet. I don't endorse that. I'm an eater, but
Me
I just
too.
like to get up before my husband and the dog. We don't have a kid yet, and I like to do my thing and have a cup of coffee. And then by the time he's out and going to the rink, I'm on my third cup and I'm like, why do I have the shakes? So yeah, I love coffee. And then when football comes around, I pump like two before the game, one at halftime, and then you're
Yes.
wondering at 2 a.m. when you have a flight at 6, why can't I sleep? So yes, that's the long version. I love it.
How great are those moments of waking up and nobody else is up yet and you can just kind of do your shit, take your
Yeah,
time, figure out the day.
I know. I can't imagine what it's like with a baby, as you guys
Oh,
are well versed on, but it's
it's
good. I
actually
mean,
pretty great. It is nice.
yeah,
You
yeah.
get like those little baby cuddles in the morning until she
Oh.
starts like tearing everybody a new a-hole, but
Yeah. That's what I do with my golden. Like we have special time and where I just look into his dreamy eyes and he just snorts to me and all that. So yeah, it's great.
it's the best. Love
I
those puppers.
know.
Did you just get back from Mexico like a second ago?
Yeah, we got back on Monday and now I'm so annoyed because we want to hang out with everybody in our group of friends here in our town and they're all going away for Labor Day and I'm like, what the I just got back. Where are you guys going? So yeah,
Come
we did.
back.
But it was really, really a good time. We had a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
It looked beautiful. How do you do that every year before the football season starts? To just like
Y-
have a little R&R?
Yeah, we have a place in Montana that we go to probably for about a month out of the summer. And
You
then
own a place in Montana?
yeah, have you
What?
been?
No, but it is like tippy top of my bucket list. I'm dying to go. And your
Yeah.
pictures there also looked like truly from a film.
Yeah. So are you a Yellowstone fan? Do you
Oh my
watch the show
God.
at all? Yeah. I
Beth all
mean,
day,
and
every day.
right. And we bought it before that show came out. But then obviously once the show came out, we were like, oh my God, we like have to dress like them. And it's really funny. The locals of our town that we live in hate that show because they think it's bullshit. Like they think, people, it's such a lie. Calves apparently aren't born that big. There's not like, ranchers as hot as Rip. No, I'm kidding. The ranchers in our area are really hot. But yeah, so anyways, we go to Montana and then usually right before the season I like to do a little tequila getaway in Mexico and then it's like bye babe, see you when I see you because his season starts up I just read I think they start up in 41 days and then we start up
Oh
next week so
gosh.
it's kind of crazy. He's like skating people right now on the ice and yeah, we kind of
Oh
go at the same time.
gosh. Okay, so you're married to Jarrett Stahl, a very nice Canadian man who throws
Who,
down
by the
better.
way, he loved, is it just Jarrett or is it Canadian? He loved it because every one of them, you're like, that's just
I
Jarrett.
think
And
that's Jarrett.
yeah, and everybody actually in Montana, because we did that before we were in Montana, and people were like, that was so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely got some quirks that I don't think that Canada can take the claim over most of those things.
Yeah. Sorry, Jarrett.
Who throws down better though, a hockey player or a football player when we're talking cocktails?
Um, I would have to say hockey players, but I will give a little insight and a little shout out to a Southern crew. We had a chance to hang out with Carissa, who you're friends with as
Mhm.
well. And I have become pretty good girlfriends with Kelly Stafford, Matthew Stafford's wife. And they were kind enough to invite us to go to Mexico with them or after he had won the Super Bowl. And they have just an awesome group of friends that they went to college with, that they've grown up with. And these are Southern folk. And that's where I am from. Like I am from Florida. These folks went to Georgia. They went to Alabama. And the first night that we hung out with this group in Mexico, we got back to our room and Jarrett just said, I've never seen anything like this, like the way. And I was like, you've won 2 cups. You're from Saskatchewan. I've hung out with your crew before. What are you talking about? But these people are animals in all the right ways. So I would say NHL players, but I would also say that Stafford clan, they're pretty close.
And cocktails kind of hit a little bit different when you're like in Mexico as well. It's just, it's a different vibe than when you're throwing them back in Saskatchewan, just like waiting to see what's happening down in Regina.
I got to tell you,
different vibe.
They hit different on this trip. It was unbelievable. We found this little patch at the hotel where there was like this street taco truck. No one was there. There was kind of a business group that was in town our very last day, and they were all in the pool. And we were hearing about how Joey sells this many printers, and Betsy over here has crushed it in North Carolina. And Jared's like, I want to go before they figure out, your voice and they want to start talking football. Let's go. So we walked down to the beach and there was this street taco truck and it was awesome. We're like, we'll have 2 pork and a beef and sour cream. And this lady's like, can I get you a margarita? I'm like, yeah, margarita hit perfect. Well, before I know it, I'm slurping down number 2. We've got a joke in my family. My mom, God love her. My mom downs her drinks. Like she drinks them like a Slurpee. She's so excited. And I apparently did this with my margarita. Next thing I know, we go in the ocean. It is phenomenal. The temps in the 80s, we're in the waves. But then I decided I was going to be fabulous and lay on the sand where the sand meets the ocean. And I'm influencers in the wild all of a sudden. The waves are crashing. My legs are going up over my ass. But I'm just laughing and having so much fun. We sat there for an hour. I walk back up, go to the hammock. I start not hallucinating, but seeing waves. I passed out for an hour and a half. My husband has pictures of me. He's like, the fact you weren't on your phone talking, trying to fit in, he goes, you were so passed out. He basically had to carry me to the room. 2 things happened. My foot was torn up from the coral reef that I apparently didn't know was mangling me, but I felt so good that I had no idea my right foot is shredded. And I have the craziest burn all over my body on your side boob area that never gets the sun.
Yeah.
So tender. Love me tender. It is purple. And I don't want my dermatologist to ever see it, but it was literally one of the best times. Like the next day we went to the street taco place and I said to that lady, I'm like, what did you do to me? But it was awesome.
Is there anything worse than seeing a photo that your husband took while you're passed out?
Yeah.
Oh
I mean,
God.
You're not sucking in. I'm like, mouth open. We were dying laughing the next morning because we were like, what happened to you? And I was like, I don't know, but that was amazing. And I just said, I'm not one that has to worry about paparazzi or any of that. But I was like, if there was any day for them to get me, because nobody was at that hotel when we were there. So, we were the most popular ones. That would have been it. My legs flailing in the air, probably my top,
oh
whatever.
My gosh.
But it was awesome.
One time, John and we were flying from Vegas to Jacksonville, and I don't fly well.
Ooh.
And we were flying private.
Oh, nice.
Which sounds so bougie.
No, it doesn't. Because that flight, you want to fly private.
You kind of have to. But the true reason why we did is because our dog is bougie, our bulldog, and we had to bring them. So we're like, get him a plane. So anyways, I don't fly well with this. So I popped a Xanax. And then, which I don't normally ever do, but I get super claustrophobic. So I'm like, I have to do this or I'm not going to make it. You might need to just open the exit and let me out. So anyways, I do that. And then I'm like, you know what? I should have a whiskey and a little Diet Coke.
With the Xanax?
Yes.
Oh, no.
I woke up.
What are you going in for LASIK surgery as well? I mean, what are you doing?
No, I did not know what this combination was going to do to me. And yeah, I was like passed out. My husband, for some reason, he was like, this was, I think, before people were doing that weird trend where they were like throwing cheese on people's face.
Oh, I don't know that trend.
Yeah, people just like throwing like like the Kraft singles. on people's faces. I don't know. Anyways,
oh God.
Really horrifying. And I woke and he showed me the pictures after and like eyes open, like I was on another planet. I was coping because I had to get to Jacksonville. But anyways, I don't recommend that combination. It's not a good one. Don't do it because you literally leave planet Earth.
Yeah, I pretty much thought that lady had slipped me something, but I know now it was probably just a double. And so I drank 2 of them and I can do math. Carry the one. Yeah, exactly. Oh,
oh my gosh.
What
is your hangover remedy?
Shake Shack. Raising Cane's.
Oh, Raising Cane's. Underrated. So very good.
So good, especially in the South. And then as annoying as it sounds, I have to get some sort of a workout in just to like sweat it out, just to try to like feel a little bit normal. I mean, it's not going to be one where I'm lifting or like doing a ton of cardio, but just a little bit, as annoying as this sounds. And I want to punch my face for saying it, get some movement. You know,
you got to.
But yeah, definitely like a really, really greasy breakfast and then followed up with like a Shake Shack Raising Cane's situation. I just want to try to kill myself, you know?
Yep. I love that. Or like a good, like spicy ramen or a pho does it for me as well. Like a good, like spicy broth. I find that kind of pops me back to life a little bit too.
I'm not a faux girl. I actually have to be honest with you. I wouldn't know how to order pho. I don't. How do you, like, I don't even know what's good or what I'm getting.
So I love soup. I just do like the lean beef one usually because you can get like the beef balls or you can get it with tripe. I don't love tripe. Tripe's like it's tripe. I think it's like intestines or I think it's intestines. Anyone that wants to jump on the chat and correct me on that, but I think that's what it is. Yeah, it's like an organ kind of thing and it's like very stringy. But anyways, it can come with that. I just stick to the lean beef. I go kind of like the basic bitch version of pho and it's really, really great.
Yeah, I don't know pho. Okay.
Don't know pho. All right. Well, next time that you're not feeling so hot,
it's cow intestines.
No, but you don't have to have that. You could. That's just like an option because you add the meat in, and then it cooks in the broth while you're like mixing it all together. Okay, it's like a real concoction. Anyways, this doesn't need to be
that or a crinkle fry from Shake Shack. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Fair. Okay, let's get into young Erin.
Oh gosh,
growing up with a dad who was a journalist, broadcaster. What are some like nuggets of wisdom that you picked up from your dad along the way as sort of like your first eye-opening experience into like what this world is?
Well, I think I just watching my dad do it and going to meet him at the TV station after he did the 6 o'clock news. And then, you know, he couldn't come home because he had the 11. We'd go have dinner with him after he finished and stuff like that. So I was definitely used to the routine. I knew the hours. I knew sometimes there would be Thanksgivings where he was home, he wasn't home. If there was a hurricane, that was like the Super Bowl in Florida, my dad had to go cover it. So that was kind of, you know, something that was easy to relate or understand because I just grew up with it. You know, it's crazy because I think everything was just instilled in me in such a young age. I probably didn't realize I was learning it, but I know my dad is such an insane hard worker and it was always like his job over everything. Now, not with our family, but he was just so dedicated and married to his job and he did such a great job at it. I think I know my dad's a perfectionist, so I think that's where I kind of get my insane neurotic, like wanting to do such a good job, having heart palpitations, even till Tuesday if I screwed up on a Sunday game, maybe things like that. Yeah. You just feel like you wish you'd go back and could redo it. And you think that everybody is just sitting there thinking, God, she's awful. She's lost it.
Do you really think that, like, does that still linger? I mean, obviously it does because you just brought it up. But I mean, for someone that has done this for such a long time and like fully respected in the job and the role that you have, you still get kind of like do people give you shit for that at all?
I mean, you're always going to have your losers on Twitter or Instagram that are making your nose, your voice comments. You suck. Like so-and-so's way better. Look at my favorite. My favorite on Instagram is where people, you know, and good for them. They're trying to pump up the next big thing or next young thing. And good for them. They're always like, look out, Erin Andrews, so-and-so is coming. And I want to be like, good, take it.
I'm tired. Come on in. I'll tag you in.
look out. And I always want to be like, where am I looking? What am I looking at? No, it's just funny. Like, it's like, all right, I'm like, good. Oh my gosh, here we go. But yeah, no, I do. But I think I'm my worst critic, I'm my hardest, toughest judge, toughest critic. And because you always want people to believe that you belong. And maybe I just cracked something with myself. Dr. Phil moment.
Ooh.
Do I believe I belong? Whoa.
I love a bout of imposter syndrome. I love it. I love it. It's actually a very fascinating thing. And it's funny to me that it just doesn't go away.
Yeah.
It's like, it just kind of lingers and it'll kind of rear its ugly head every now and then when I'm like, oh my, I don't know what I'm doing. I never have claimed to know what I'm doing. Oh my God. But it's funny that you still get that. I mean, you've been doing this for so long and you've been so respected for what you do. So, I mean, it's kind of comforting to me to know that it also affects you.
It does. And I had an athlete one time and we were just talking about Twitter and Twitter doesn't kill me as much as it used to. I just think it's like the people with the preconceived notions. There's still some writers that love to just attack me and things like that. And I know if they had a couple of drinks with me and they listened to the real me, I know that they would like me. And I have this weird obsession with wanting people to do that. But I remember sitting and talking with an athlete one time and he was saying, you could have a stadium full of 100,000 people cheering for you. And you see that one tweet and it just ruins your day. And I'm like, how psycho are we that we actually care about that? Really? Why do we care about the guy with the cat avatar who is just, crushing our voices? And it's like, how's your mom? Ask her to feed you your dinner because she's doing it.
Go touch some grass, get outside.
Yeah.
No, I know. And it's so weird that it like picks that, like whatever weird, deep scab that we have that we're like, how dare you call me out on this like dumb thing, whether it's something that like kind of does resonate as like a little bit true or like some kind of insecurity that like I have. It's very, very frustrating. And I wish that I could just like log off. I actually feel like I've done a good job over the years of like blocking and muting people that I don't see much of it anymore.
Oh yeah. Blocking and muting is fun. I actually really enjoy it.
And like the quality filters as well. You can like
What's that?
I did it like years ago. Can't remember exactly. Like you can go on Twitter and there's like a quality filter thing that just kind of gets people that are like swearing a lot or that like message you a bunch of like random stuff or like the like people just like keep making different accounts and stuff.
Yeah, love those.
Who has the time?
Who has the time? Who knows? Who can remember all the passwords?
Oh my God. I thought I lost my phone yesterday and we just got to an Airbnb and I was like, I don't know how we're going to get in there because I'm not going to be able to log into my email on John's phone because I don't know my passwords. I don't know any of them. They're all on Face. I need to like Face ID it. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. But otherwise, no, I could never.
No, it's too hard. Yeah.
What was like bad Erin like? Did you ever get into like trouble as a kid? Did you have like trouble years?
Not really. I mean, nothing with like drinking or acting out or like staying out with boys or I didn't do that at all, which basically I was a square. But my biggest thing, and I feel bad for it now, and I know I will as a kid, I just was sassy. I always had something to say. And so that was kind of like the thing for my parents. Like they would hold it over us. I was very into dance and I never fought with my sister. It's just my sister and I, and we were always super tight. But if I ever sassed my mom or ever got in a fight with my sister, and we're talking about getting in fights about the hairbrush, you took the hairbrush, where's the hairbrush? Like things like that. My mom and dad would take away dance class from us and you would swear that was like the worst thing. I did one time get in really big trouble in high school for sassing my dad back. And I said a naughty word to him as he left the room and he heard me and he turned around and he knocked on the door and he said, "What did you say?" And I said, "I'm sorry." And he took my car away for a couple of days, which sucked. But the biggest thing he told me I couldn't do was watch television. And that's when the Phoenix Suns were in the NBA finals. I was obsessed with Charles Barkley. They were playing the Chicago Bulls and my dad knew that would rip my heart out. And the final game, I think John Paxson, that he shot the game-winning shot. I had to go listen in the radio of my car. I snuck it to listen because I wanted to hear the game so bad. And that was like life or death for me. Oh, again, what a nerd.
Hey, the passions are the passions.
Yeah.
Do you still dance at all?
No, this
Not
was
at all.
like, no, I should. It was a great, like, strength training, weight training, all that kind of stuff. But no. But this was like 24/7, 7 days a week. We're in a competition squad. I was so bad. I was like, my growth spurt was probably like fifth, sixth grade. So I was the tallest, awkward girl. That's why my posture is really bad. And I was always back middle or back right to hide me, but there was no hiding these arms or legs,
They're coming
And
out.
yeah.
The
So
wave
no.
saw 'em. That
Oh
margarita
yeah.
saw 'em.
Sure did. Everybody saw him on that beach.
Your sister's a dancer, right?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember seeing that like on your Instagram. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. It's like, yeah, cool line of work for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
How has your fashion progressed over the years from like being on TV, doing sidelines, getting into like great winter wear, love a good jacket. But how have things progressed for you over the years?
I would say that fashion is not my strong suit whatsoever. I am very grateful to have had the opportunity to work with awesome people who do it for a living and are way better than I am. When I was dressing myself, and that's really what you can do when you first start, and what you can afford to do. I would hit, well, let's put it this way. My first job out of college, Tampa Bay Lightning. I was hitting up Express and Limited.
Hell yeah.
I had a couple of these express tops I thought were so hot. The body looked tight in them. It was like the turtleneck, like sleeveless top. Then when I got hired by ESPN, you'd see that every weekend. I was like, oh, I look so good in this. I remember when I worked Game 7, my husband gives me a hard time for this. Game 7 of the 2004 Stanley Cup Finals with the Tampa Bay Lightning and Calgary Flames. I saw a bright green, like sweater, quarter length sweater top in the front row of Ann Taylor at the West Shore Mall in Tampa with my mom and dad. And I'm like, that's the one.
That's it.
And my husband called me the green machine whenever he sees like the recaps of it. But I mean, again, I've learned, what the biggest thing, and I would always try to tell young girls this, just keep it simple. Like when you're on TV, like a crisp shirt, one color with a nice slack. That's it. A leather jacket with a shirt.
I mean, slack.
Sometimes I think these people try to get way too wild sometimes. And I'm like, what are we doing? Just keep it simple and crisp and fabulous and you're good. But I mean, again, this is something I'm very lucky to have people that help me with this because Lord knows I can't do it on my own at all.
I feel like I would go really kind of all over the place, but it's different in WWE because it's
yeah, you can have fun.
Loud. That's like, give me the sparkles, give me the sequins, give me the fringe, give me all that shit. And I did love having fun with that, but it's so funny being like removed from that now. I'll like walk by my closet. I'm like, the is this? Where was I wearing this? But
that was so your vibe. And that was so what I think like your atmosphere, your audience wanted to see. One of the biggest things that I still struggle with now, and my girlfriend dresses me and she's working with Carissa as well, is that I get so stuck in what I think is the right thing to wear. I do believe you are allowed to have style and fashion and show you are a woman and you love sports. But for so long, when I first started, I mean, I remember I wore a dress on Monday Night Baseball and a local Chicago writer wrote an article about it. Like, are you kidding me? By the way, if he did that now, think of all the backlash.
Roasted.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
You could do that now.
Yeah. I had a boss back in the day that complained that I wore a skirt down to my knees because it was hot as hell. And I knew if I wore pants, I'd sweat through them. The skirt was down to my knees. I'm 5'10", by the way. So that's a long skirt. That, by the way, is a maxi for some people, a maxi dress. A long skirt, a tank top that wasn't even revealing at all, and a headband to keep like my hair out or out of my eyes. That's when headbands were hot. And she was like, I think you're trying to look like Alice in Wonderland. What are you doing? Can you imagine if they said that now? Can you imagine?
No, I mean, couldn't.
So I definitely went through some stuff when I think maybe it kind of gives me a little PTSD, but sure. I do believe like 44 years old, you are allowed to show like, hey, I'm a female, I work hard on my body. Oh, by the way, I love X's and O's and I'm a tomboy. So I do kind of struggle with that.
Yeah, it really is such a fine line of like, hey, I want you to respect me. Also, I'm here. I have the job. I'm the person that got the job and I'm right for the job. But also let me have like a little fun with what this looks supposed to be. And don't think that I'm trying to have some kind of like ulterior motive from wearing this other outfit.
I'm grateful it has evolved, because definitely back in the day when I started, I remember a couple of executives making a few comments. I remember writers I wore a yellow dress and this guy ripped me apart for it. And I just thought, my God, if this happened now, I mean, this guy would lose his job. Like, you just can't speak that way to women anymore. So and thank goodness, right?
I remember when I first started at WWE and I was like really trying to figure out where I was like, hey, if I wear something super simple and basic, which is not really my vibe anyways, but you're standing next to these like very larger than life characters, you become like really mousy and it just doesn't work. So as I'm like trying to figure that out, but I would wear these like blouses, but I would do them all the way up to the top, but as like sort of like that more like, I don't even know what to call it, but it was a choice. It was a choice. It wasn't on like the conservative side of doing that, but I was like, oh, it just seems kind of cool. I want to button it all the way up. And they're like, you look like a nerd. You cannot wear that.
Oh,
I was constantly having to like battle. I'm like, just let me wear this. I'm telling you, like, this will look cool and this will be fine. But you win and lose some. It can definitely be some ups and downs with that.
Are you jealous now though? Because I'm jealous in a great way. I'm grateful for these women that can go out there and wear what they're wearing and be so confident about it, because it was difficult. It was so what about for you? Yeah. Are you jealous about it, but in a good way?
Yeah, in like a good way where it's like, oh my God, cool. I see what you're doing. Yeah. I love that. Like, it's not even just like within the world of broadcasting, within sports, but it's just like the world in general is so much more open to like, oh my God, like nothing, you can't buy anything that's not a crop top these days. Right. Like everything's a crop top. Everything's revealing. And like, it's funny. I feel like such a prude now because I'm like, oh my God, I don't really want to show off my stomach right now. Or how high can I get these pants if I'm going to wear this crop top? Like, I'm okay with like an inch or two, but do I need my belly button showing? I can confirm to you, I do not. I do not need that out there. But no, it is. Yeah. When I see what some of the girls can like wear and like how much the game has like evolved. God, when I think of when I first got into like broadcasting, like, holy shit. Yeah. Thank God for stylists, right? Thank God.
Yeah. And again, that sounds so, bougie and whatever. For many years in my career, I did not have one, and you could tell, but I need one because I can't do it on my own. Also too, a lot of the times, I mean, I was doing 2 games a week and a feature. I didn't know what side was up and what side was down. I didn't know what was clean or what was cool. So I very much needed one to just be like, okay, you are going to wear this today and we are going to alter this today, because I couldn't do it on my own. And I still think it's funny that I am apologizing for having a stylist. Do you know how many men in our industry have them? So it's like little things like that. You don't want to sound like a bitch for doing it, but you also are like, wait, all the guys on NFL pregame on Fox have a stylist. Yeah, totally. It is.
It's a presentation of the whole thing. And when you're on television, it's not a matter of being bougie. It's like things that you don't even think about, of like, especially if you're on like a panel show, everyone's gonna like kind of have something that matches, or you want to kind of be on the same page in terms of like what level of like formality we're doing or casualness. All that stuff that we don't always think about. And we certainly aren't communicating with each other about like, what are you wearing on this show? It doesn't really work that way. Yeah. It does not. Let's talk a little Wear by Erin Andrews.
Thank you.
You've changed the game when it comes to like clothing for women in sports that aren't just like pink and like vajazzled. You've like made them so cute. When did this all kind of come together? You're like, this needs to change.
No, thank you for saying all that. When I was working for College Game Day with ESPN, I obviously would get to go to all these different colleges and all these different areas. And even with, working with the NFL on Fox, same thing. And you just kind of see what women are wearing and you kind of take note of it, what's offered in pro shops, what's not. And then having a husband that played professional hockey, I would have to go buy Christmas presents for girls and guys of our families. And I would see in pro shops, okay, the men have 4 walls of stuff and the girls have 2 walls and half of them are jerseys. Like, where's the style? There is such a white space here. So much like Mexico with alcohol. All good ideas usually happen when you're drinking. And
Amen.
I was working for the NFL at a Super Bowl in San Francisco. I was asked to kind of hold a chalk talk for women, and they wanted me to wear their NFL kind of clothing while I was doing it. And my stylist, I said, God, what am I going to wear? I don't really like any of this stuff. And so we put an outfit together and went to dinner that night. And I just kind of obviously started having some drinks, and I was like, we got to do this. We got to figure this out. I got the reach. I've seen this stuff. I am passionate about it. This happened for about 5 or 6 years. I was knocking on people's doors. I was begging them to give me a chance. I was telling them how passionate I was about the whole thing. I was like, I'm your girl. I'm going to these stadiums. I'm touching the fans. I'm talking to them. I'm your person. And it was so funny. I don't really ever get on a soapbox about being a woman, but I was always hearing two things from these big execs. There is a need for better women's team apparel. We just haven't figured out how to do it. And are you really going to get behind it? Because do you know how many celebrities really want to do it, but they don't really want to get behind it? I'm like, well, then you don't know me, because I'm a psycho. If I believe in something, I'll be like knocking down everybody's door. Finally, and luckily, Fanatics gave us a shot. We did a really soft launch. They threw us right into the deep end with the NFL. We came up with a small collection. I think we had 8 or 9 pieces. We crushed it. And I was so grateful for all the athletes. I was gifting them for their wives, their girlfriends, their moms, whoever I could get, in their hands. And people were so phenomenal about it. And now we carry all the leagues. We just announced we have MLB.
Yes.
And that's freaking awesome. And I'm so excited about it. And we're looking to expand more and more. But yeah, it has been such an interesting journey. Year 2, we had to deal with COVID. So that was super hard. Year 4, are we dealing with a recession? Are we not? It's been a lot of challenges, things I never thought, go into this line of work, but it's also been so awesome. And I'm really proud of what we're pumping out. It's only gotten better and better every year.
What's your favorite piece?
What is my favorite piece? We have this zip up windbreaker right now that's super hot. I sound like Kim K. It is like getting ready to be sold out. That's so fun to say. We've got a really, really cool, like this kind of all zoomed down, like floral kind of rock and roll shirt that we have in all the teams' names. What else do we have?
The crop hoodies are really cute.
They're so cute with the crest on them. That's like kind of Princess Diana inspired, how she would wear those like varsity, like crested things,
cool.
Yeah. So we have that. We have so many pieces that like every year it just gets better and better and better. It's so awesome.
What about the hat market? Because we need like really great like hats for women too.
So we are doing winter wear. So we're doing gloves and toques and all that kind of stuff. But
you called it a toque. Yes,
yeah, well,
you are married to a Canadian.
But I do really, really, really want to get into baseball hats, because I love a baseball hat. Mm-hmm. You would be surprised some of the stop signs we are given about like hold your horses. I really want to do unisex, because I know a lot of our stuff would be great for men. Yeah. We've kind of been told to hold our horses. I would love to do a baby line as well, especially if, when I am able to have one. But yeah, we've had to be really patient, and I'm not very good with that, but I agree. Is it a baseball hat or a toque you're talking about?
I'm kind of both. I just love headwear, because
so do I.
There's just days that I'm like, what's happening right now? Like, I don't know what's happening. Right. But no, give me a baseball hat, a toque. I have many of both. So I'm always kind of, because I always look around, like I'll buy like Jays hats. I'll buy Vegas Golden Knights hats.
Oh my God. I got to get you our Jays gear. You're going to die.
Please,
Jared's so excited about it. You're going to die. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. Yeah, no, it's really, really great. And it's funny because as I moved to Cincinnati and like jumped on the Bengals bandwagon, I was like, I need some good gear. And I was like, oh my God, the stuff Erin puts out is so, so good. So absolutely crushing it. How different does this football season feel as you gear up and the cast has changed and everything just feels new and different? What's it like for you?
Yeah, we just had our first preseason game 2 weeks ago, and it definitely was different. Obviously, Joe and Troy leaving us to go to ESPN, and now we have Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olson, and it's different. It's kind of fresh. They have their own spin on things. Even going to dinners is different because, when you kind of like have your routine for so many years. So, yeah, it's kind of injected a little bit of new life into us because obviously when you move on, it's a different tone. It's a different world, and it's fun. There's definitely a lot more emphasis. Greg Olson is a tight end. Troy is a quarterback. So there's a lot more focus on tight ends than there was on quarterbacks. But yeah, it's been exciting, and it's been a fun couple of like months getting to know them and be on a text chain with them and stuff. So I look forward to it. I'm pumped for those guys.
And you've been able to cover Tom Brady for so many years. When he finally joins you guys on the broadcast side, what's your advice for Tom Brady?
I don't feel like Tom Brady needs advice with anything. It's just going to be, I know, it's going to be me asking him, the skincare routine. I'll say this about Tom, knowing him on and off the field. The guy always smells fantastic. And I can say that because my husband is always like, did you smell this guy? And I'm like, did he smells phenomenal. He does. It's always, he changes up his cologne. And I know this because it's always hey, can you find out what Tom's wearing? Because it turns into a stocking stuffer for my husband. I remember the first time in Montana, we were able to, kind of get to know him and meet him. And my husband had gone golfing with him a few times. He was like, babe, this guy smells unbelievable. He goes, who cares about what he does with
cologne? What is it?
At one point he was using a Tom Ford. I know this because I gifted it to my husband, and I think Jarrett was still playing. Maybe he was done, but I remember him spraying it on himself like how I used to do with Michael Jordan cologne. Like, come on, I want to be a champion. So,
give me the goods.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, I can't wait to see what it's like when Tom Brady makes that leap into broadcasting with you guys. Obviously, he's going to knock it out of the park. It'd be great because the guy just crushes absolutely everything that he does.
He really does. I'm, so looking forward to seeing him play this year. We've got a couple of his games, obviously, early on the schedule, and he's unreal with the way he's just aged backwards, looking like Benjamin Button. Honestly. I mean, the guy is just, I love to say this. I'm borrowing it from one of our friends that we have mutually. He's fresh as lettuce. Like, he just looks fresh as lettuce.
I've never heard that before. I love that.
Oh yeah, he's great.
No wilting over here. He is keeping her fresh.
Yeah, sure is. Yeah,
I love it. Well, Erin, thank you so much for jumping on here with me and hanging out for a little bit. I'm looking forward to
now
you guys
I have to go work out. I don't want to.
Me too. I've got on my workout pants underneath. I need to also go get my shit together. I've just not been working out lately. I've just stopped. I need to get my shit
What's
together.
Your go-to? What are you going to do?
I'm like a cardio person. If I can just knock some cardio out, I'm like, okay, at least did something.
I know.
What do you do?
I did cardio yesterday. I did a fun Cody Rigsby pop ride. So today I think I'm going to do some strength training just we're about to go have a massive Italian meal tonight and crush a major amount of carbs.
Hell yeah.
So I got to get it in today.
What's your order going to be? Do you think about this in advance?
Yeah, I was actually going to send our group a big text and just say, no one eat for the rest of the day because you're going to see just an absolute display happen tonight. I can't wait for just a massive cheese board. I love a cheese board. I love the, what is it? Arancini. I just absolutely, the fried rice balls with the marinara.
So good.
The veal parm where we're going is off the charts. And the other thing is Jarrett loves to eat as well. So it's always a share a two pasta situation and a meat. But and a salad with some serious cheese in it. Blah.
Oh my God. I wish that John was more of an eater because when we go out, I'm ready to eat. No, for as big as he is, I mean, he does throw down, but we were talking about this when I did your guys' podcast with Calm Down. John eats power bars and ice cream and tons of cereal and lunch meats. He's into that stuff where I'm I want to go lunch meats always with the lunch meats, but I want the pasta, I want the steak, I want the salad, I want the side baked potato, I want it all
loaded.
Always.
So I mean, even like a good baked potato where even the skin tastes good and I'll eat it. Like if it's crispy and salted,
yes.
good.
I know, it's so good. There was a recipe that I saw for making like the perfect baked potato. Super easy. I mean, just pop it in the oven with like a ton of olive oil, a ton of salt, and just let it go for like a good hour or something like that.
So good. Yeah.
God. Well, hey, I hope that you enjoy your dinner tonight. Go down, get those carbs in, enjoy your workout, whatever it is that you're going to go do. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you crush it on yet another NFL season.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
For sure.